welcome back to the Team Builder Show, where we explore and unpack how legendary real estate agents became team leaders and scaled these incredible businesses. Today, I've got Lisa Doyle in the house from Northern California. Last year, 119 closed sales in 2021 with 3.5 salespeople plus herself and 3.5 admin. We need to explore these half people. And of course, about $3.4 million in GCI, 3.39 and change to be exact. And unlike many, Lisa, who's been a client, a friend for, my goodness, 28, 29 years, has started a team from day one, her and her husband, then her and an assistant, and then about a decade ago decided she wanted to go on vacation and have sales and deals continue to close, and the rest is history. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tom. It's so fun to see you. I wish I was in person with you, but it's so fun to be with you,
I know. Well, I'm going to see you. I'm going to see you in Dallas coming up soon, so I can't wait.
Yep.
All right. So Lisa, I think there's 3 parts of the show, knowing you as well as I do. There's 3 parts I think will resonate for a lot of people. And that is, number one, your number one rule around being a leader. I want to talk about your best advice about building that team, whether you're already established and you want to grow, or you just want to start and build your team the right way, because you've certainly done it in a very sustainable, great way and highly profitable, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And then the last one is, I love the makeup, the variation of your lead generation that you apply for the team. So let's unpack the first one. So Lisa, I want to run a successful team. So here's my vision. You ready? I want to hire a bunch of people, sit on the beach, and hope and pray they sell houses. What's your number one rule?
Well, it's so funny because a lot of agents talk about the team, right? And then they talk about the desire of bringing agents aboard so that they can step away. And I think the biggest mistake that I've watched other people make is they stack on a bunch of salespeople without the structure in the office, like the back office, like there's no system in place. So a bunch of agents jump on, and basically it just crashes down within a short period of time. The agents won't stay. And so it's just that whole philosophy of build the structure first, build the support and the admin that, I like to sell. So I know some leaders are preferring to step away, but I love to sell. So the structure has to be in place for what I would want for me. And then they can then plug in.
So we're talking about, you and I go way back. So do you remember in the Arctic Thunder at the Desert Springs Marriott when I was singing the Montel Jordan song, "This is how we do it," and getting people to acknowledge that you need SOPs for, standard operating procedure. This is my checklist for everything we do inside the business. And then you build a team. Is that what you're saying here?
Exactly. The system has to be in there first. You can't, I remember there's been a time where I was coaching just part-time, and I remember, the coaching clients would come in and like, okay, so, hey, I want to bring on a bunch of salespeople. I want to, it's like, okay, so talk to me about your back office. What is your admin structure? What is your system? What does the processes look like? But you have to have that first and then bring on the sales team.
Yes. So I know Coach Yvonne, who's listening, she's going to be like, yes. Organize it first. But Lisa, what do you say to the person that says, but Lisa, I'm doing this because I am so unorganized. There's no way I can ever get it done. I start and I just move paper from this side of the desk to the other. Can I hire that super organized person to help me get started?
Absolutely. Because I have to say I am not naturally very organized either. I work really hard at it. I love selling. But the operator system processes is definitely not my strength. So for us, we have to have someone who's super detailed, which we do. We're very grateful. I have 3 people that work with me admin wise, and they're all of the same core, right? They're all high C, high analytical, high detail, high accountability, high, they're all about the things that I'm the system and the detail work and the tech savviness that I am not necessarily as strong at.
Yes. So early when you said before you build the team, were you implying that building the sales team then? Like, don't add a bunch of salespeople unless you have that great operator, that great organizer in the background. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Because you pile a bunch of things on top of a broken system and it just collapses. It's like, so, for us, we started with the part-time admin, and Greg, he's retired now basically, but Greg started out as the TC. And then I would list and then he would, process. And then we added the part-time assistant. This is like, 25 years ago. And then that person evolved into a full-time. And then we kind of grew this strategy from there. But you definitely have to think about having the right person in the right seat on the bus. They have to be someone who's super detailed, especially if you as a leader are not. It's
Yes.
like they all know that that is not my strength. I love to lead. I love to be, like the leader in discipline and all the things that
Yes.
we are, that we're strong at. But you have to have someone who's super detailed if you are not.
So you touched on a word that I would say, knowing you as long as I have, describes you to the T, and that is discipline. So what do you say to the person that's listening who isn't as disciplined, and yet they struggle because they say to their sales team, I need you to make your phone calls. I need you to respond to leads on time. I need you to follow up diligently. I need you to write offers that get accepted versus sloppy offers. You are so disciplined, working out, physically fit, mentally tough. What do you say to that person that is saying one thing but doing another?
I remember you many times you've showed us that screen when we're in events where it shows the leader either in the front with
Yeah.
like the whole come on, it's like, or you show the leader on the back.
Yeah.
And for me, it's, I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of things that I don't do as well, but I know that discipline and desire and like work ethic, for me, that's one of my biggest strengths. And so I think that if you don't have a strong work ethic and you want to build it, you got to get super deep about what it is that you're trying to achieve. It's like, for me, I love audiobooks. I'm like a voracious reader. You have to constantly be exposing yourself to greatness because it makes you, I don't know, it fuels that inner desire to do something different or better or stronger, or, like on the night when you're tired and you're on your way home and you're supposed to do something that's not mandatory, but it would build it, like making a drop by to someone that you want to try to set an appointment with or whatever. It's like, you have to have a reason for that. There has to be that desire before.
Right.
Otherwise we'll weasel out,
It's just so easy to not be disciplined, and it's also easy to start being disciplined, right? Easy to do and easy not to do is kind of the daily struggle of most entrepreneurs and certainly most high producing salespeople. Let's go a different direction for a second. Let's actually talk marketing. So when I was looking at the marketing mix, right, looking at some prep questions here, what effective lead generation systems do you use? You were like geographic farming, open house. We work our past clients in Ferry. We do community events. We do tons of video. And you, my dear, were one of my early back in 2009 with myself and Christoph Chu and Eileen Rivera. You also do tons of door knocking, and then you do some online to get some Dave Ramsey leads and some Google leads, etc. But talk about how you use, for example, geographic farming, open houses, community events, tons of video as it relates to running a team.
That's a really good question. It's a really good question. It's like, I know a lot of back in the day when we were all strategizing around the idea behind our team. I mean, this was like with you 20 years ago, right? 15 years ago, when we were all in audiences trying to decide what did we want to do to leverage and grow and become stronger and, to take our brand to a bigger level. Mm-hmm. We talked about adding salespeople, and I made the decision early on that I didn't want to bring on a bunch of people who just worked with buyers. I felt like if they learned how to list, I would be helping them too. It's not just about building a team that gives me income. It's about bringing people aboard that you can help them become better. Like, join me and I'll help you learn how to be a good agent all around. And learning to list is a big deal. So all of our lead generation stems from that. Everyone has their own geographic farm, and I brand with them.
Talk about this. I mean, I just had Dave Robles, longtime friend of yours as well, in a mastermind meeting, and he was saying to the audience that, hey, I've got 25 people on my team. Every single one of them has a 1,000 to 2,000 home farm. Yep. We co-branded together. We split the costs, and, if they're doing direct mail as an example, but it's a lot more than direct mail to be effective with a farm. So unpack for us, if I was on your team, what does farming look like as somebody on your team?
So, I mean, they pretty much duplicate what I've always loved doing, which my biggest profit center is my farms.
Yep.
And one of the things I learned, we as a group went to see Andy C recently, because he's like an hour from me, and I love Andy. He's a longtime friend, right? He's awesome. And so we sat with his group and we all strategized around our business. And the one thing that he said to me, and we've taken it to heart, he said, you do everything I do. You just do it on a little level, and I do it like, so I was like, okay.
He does it with 120,000 houses. Yes. Right. Shout out to Andy.
And so he was right. And then the whole team was sitting there. So we've all started to do this, right? Everyone's taking on a bigger territory, bigger brand, right. But everybody knocks their farms. Everybody does video into their farms. We do strategic slide dial, which is super effective.
Yep.
In the farms, slide dial, text and voicemail. But it's all about just connecting with the people. We lots of door knocking events, It's a lot of open house connections and, doing an open house bigger and better and
Right.
more obvious, 30, 40 signs. We always have adopted that.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
yeah.
So someone's going to say, oh my goodness, Lisa, but if I do that and I co-brand and I put their face on it, then they're going to leave me and they're going to own that farm. And then I put all that time and energy into it and it's gone. What do you say?
So that's a good question. So I've had a few people that have left me. One of them was my very first agent that joined us back in the day, right? She retired, basically. Her husband retired and I just kept her farm. If someone leaves me, I'm going to keep their farm because they're probably not going to work it anyway.
Right.
If they're not with us, they're probably not going to work it correctly anyway, because it takes work. It takes, like, we have a Gabby, who's my longest assistant. She's our marketing director. She organizes all the marketing to the farm. She helps them. They don't have to do anything, but just the action. Yes. Here's the pieces, go knock it. Here's the piece that she nails. Here's the, so everything's done and organized for them. Most of them, if they do leave, they don't continue it. So to answer your question, in most cases, I just retain the farm and have made it profitable. So,
So do you co-brand? Is it always like your face and their face?
Yep.
Two phone numbers, single phone number. How does it work?
So in their farms, it's actually their phone number, which I don't have, I have no problem with that.
Yep.
We know if the business comes in,
we got the listing. It came out of the farm. Yep.
It's all good, and I knock with them sometimes to help them if they're feeling kind of down. Everybody goes through cycles where you're not necessarily seeing the results that you want. So, I love to be pretty proactive with the leadership. I like to be there with them and, and I have them come along with me all the time.
You say door knocking and someone's going to go, door knocking. Is their average sales price like 350,000, 400,000? What's your average sales price?
Like almost 2 million, 1.8.
Oh, so you're knocking $2 million homes. Don't those luxury sellers say, what are you doing knocking on my door? Like, are they luxury sellers are never home? Like how does that even work? Like, how many doors would you have to knock on to actually talk to somebody?
You'd be shocked. And like I said, I enjoy the knocking in the farms. I don't get to do it as often as I did back in the day because I'm busier. Sure. But I really enjoy that. And you would be shocked at a $3.5 million home seller who says, oh my gosh, come take a look at my house. Come in, have tea with me. Yes. People are very much enjoy. And even with COVID, we curbed everything during the biggest part of COVID, right? Of course. But even when we started to phase back in, we would wear, when I would knock with the team, we would step way back. Yep. Have our masks at our chin. And if we got anywhere close, we'd pull it up. So we were very mindful of protecting and keeping people comfortable. Yep. But yeah, people are very, you'd be surprised at how kind they are. And the rest of the group loves knocking too. They all enjoy their farms and they're,
So again, we started this by saying, basically be the leader that you act how you want them to act. So you're saying, I'm going to go knock on doors. So they're going to go knock on doors. It's a culture of knocking on doors. It's a culture of open houses. It's a culture of the marketing team gives you the stuff. Now just go do the execution. Let's end with sort of one last question. What do you think is the future of real estate teams?
That's a good question. I think teams are 100%. I mean, in every marketplace, effective teams have really taken over and dominated. Our market's the same way. And we have some crazy kick ass, all of us. Yes. It's like awesome. I think that the team is going to continue to be bigger and more dominant. It's like, as we've been expanding our brand, it's fun. It's like, we're starting to see results from becoming more broad, which that means we can't be face-to-face with everyone as much, but we still like to do that around our listings and sales. You still get that connection. But I think that the teams will continue to dominate. I think that, companies have embraced team significantly.
Yes.
And agents are being drawn towards the idea of structure. We have a few agents that we are discussing joining us, and they all hesitate a little bit because they want their independence. They want their name in lights, but we actually give them that plus structure. So you can still have yourself out there. And, I co-brand on the signs as well. I let them have their name on the signs along with me, because Smart. I want them to feel like they're being seen. It's not just them behind the Doyle team and, they don't get a presence with their past clients and everyone. So.
I see Timmy Smith and so many others of the greats, the abundant thinkers, doing exactly the same. So Lisa, thank you so much for being on the show. If somebody wants to connect to you because they just resonated with your smiling eyes and your energy, what's the best way for somebody to reach out to you?
They can either way. They can email our phone. I'm always, my cell phone is a great place.
Yep.
So you do leave that number now, or do you want me to?
Let's hear it. Rip it out on the show. I hope this. Let's see.
You can go to Doyle. You can go to Doyle Residential, which is our main site. Check it out. But my phone number, of course, 925-890-7443. And I love to talk to agents.
Yes.
We, as you know, we all connect together, and it's one of the biggest advantages to having been taught by you for so long and attending is some of my dearest friends I have met in your spaces. And so we all send referrals back and forth. I've never had to pay for coaching ever.
I know.
Like referrals that we get are exceeding the cost of, and that isn't the purpose behind it, but it's
contribution, and people that contribute, gain benefit always when your heart is at the right place. It's so funny. You just said that, like, Gary Gold, who down in Beverly Hills, who's been on my show many times. Gary's like, I haven't paid for coaching in like 7 years. And I literally was going to call my CFO and say, has Gary's credit card declined for like 7 straight years? And then he's like, I get so many referrals from this ecosystem, and he gives so many referrals, right? So yeah, big shout out to all of you that do that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It just, one of the biggest things, one of the fun things that we've been doing is knowing that a lot of people from Northern California, we're seeing a pretty big exodus out to a lot of states across the country, right?
Right.
So we've been doing video interviews with agents in those cities just to introduce them to our people that we know in our databases. And if someone says to me, hey, I'm thinking about moving to, Florida or Tennessee or whatever, Vegas. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a dear friend there. I did an interview with her. I'm going to send you her information. And it's been fun. That's been a fun way to support the referral.
That is such a great agent-to-agent referral hack right there. So I'm going to see you in Dallas. I'm expecting you to be, with your camera person and shooting a ton of videos. So Lisa, thank you always for just being you. Love to the family. Love to Greg. Keep up the great work, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks at the summit.
See you soon. Take care.
All right. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, reach out to Lisa Doyle, ask her some questions, come to the summit. You can certainly see her there. Her and all of her friends hanging out in the front row, doing what they do best, learning and growing and sharing with one another. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Where could you go to get tuned up, to get your mindset right, to get an unlimited number of marketing and lead generation strategies to win even more listings? The answer, my friend, is obvious. The Success Summit in Dallas, August 23rd through the 25th. If you want to be surrounded by thousands of like-minded individuals that are not buying into the noise, but instead staying mentally tough and most importantly, earning the money that they desire, then you need to join us. So to make your reservation, just go to tomferry.com/summit. Make sure you put in the promo code SUMMIT15, that's SUMMIT15, to get 15% off your ticket. I can't wait to see you at this year's Success Summit.